Sup shitters, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SB Patrons. In SB Patrons video for Call Me Hee Hee. Sup Call Me Hee Hee, how are you doing? Today we're going to be checking out a track called, if we switch over to here, for your custom monthly music review, we have Yu Duo Xiao Ai Ke Yi Chong Lai by DK New Zai, Dick and Cowboy. We also have lyrics which you've kindly provided to me. So we're going to listen through this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. What is this? I can always make you smile. I'm loving the guitar work here. It's very lush and textured. It's pretty. Oh. Great vocal technique. It's nice to have this electric bass come in here with the singer getting up in that high range with his vocals. It sounds very pretty and warm, and it's nice development of the musical theme that we're presented with at the start. Oh, that drum fill was nice. Nice use of stereo panning, or sort of panning this in the stereo field with that guitar on the left side. The mix is nice and wide. Each instrument has its own position. Things are easily identifiable in the mix. I was wondering what was going to come in on the extreme right of that side, and we had that lead guitar, I think, come in just near the end. I'm keen to find out what this track is about. He's repeating these vocal melodies so they stick in your head, and there's a clear passion for what he's singing about, and among these softly overdriven guitars. Oh, that's a nice major ending there, nice resolution. Guitar solo. Oh, he can shred. Now that's a really complicated and, well, not necessarily a complicated, but that's a very tricky thing to do with a tremolo bar. The lead guitarist in this band is a sensational musician. Well done. Oh. Great shift there, wasn't expecting that in regards to the chord progression. We lifted ourselves up at the end to let the lead guitar simmer down. Nice flip of that. We're repeating this. Is this the bridge? I think this might be the bridge. This is something you could like wave a candle around with, or a lighter, or your cell phone, you know? It's got that real big band live stage sort of vibe to it. It's a fantastic ballad. Nice bit of vocal fry there. Handling the main stage as a solo vocalist, it's great. Oh, nice syncopation there. Repeating this chorus twice. Oh, I'm bringing it down. Charming. Great choice, Call Me Hee Hee. Great choice. Thank you for suggesting this. It's a beautiful song. By the way, just while I remember, I know you've been talking about your studies, Call Me Hee Hee. I really hope that your studies are going okay. I can only imagine it's very difficult, but I'm sure that it will be well worth it at the end, and I wish you the best of luck with those studies. Hopefully, you get what you want out of it, and there's a happy ending to it. But yeah, that's basically, sorry, excuse me for a minute. Got the lyrics here kindly provided by You Call Me Hee Hee. We've got a Yu Duo Xiao Aiki Chong Lai by DK New Hazai with Dick and Cowboy. I think that's How Much Love Can Come Again. That's what that's called. DK New Zhai, Dick and Cowboy by Huang Shaoling. I really wish I'd seen that at the start. I saw the white writing, but the gray one didn't stand out. I just should have paid more attention. Anyways, got the lyrics. So basically, in terms of the lyrics, I can see here, you know, it is effectively about the regret that you can have when a relationship ends and you don't know if you're going to see that person again in a sea of people. Talking about how there's a few people out there that really matter, and you realize that there's just someone who in particular out of that sea of people who is really important. You don't know if that love can come back. You don't know how many people will wait or whether people will be able to wait for that. And love has been a sea of mulberry. I'm not sure what that's referencing. Do you have the courage to love? Yeah, do you have the courage to love someone and to show their vulnerability even if there's a chance that they could never come back to you? When love has been a sea of mulberry, do you have the courage to love? I'm assuming by mulberry, like, when love has been like a difficulty or a challenge, do you have the courage to try it one more time? And I think that came through really well in the performance. When I listened to this musician sing, because this is the conclusion for this review, when I listen to this musician sing, I can hear the story told without even needing to understand the words necessarily. You can kind of hear how it's someone calling out, trying to make sense of the decisions they've made and figuring out the best path forward in the future. I can hear that clearly. And when we have someone who is a great vocalist who's also doing well at emoting within the piece, that's just a lovely situation to have. You know, I really appreciate the work that's put into this on behalf of Dick and Cowboy, DK New Zhai. You know, traditionally I'm a sucker for these kind of songs. I love my ballads. We start with those guitars and have those electric keyboards and bass and drums come in steadily, and the vocals accompany us the whole way and allow the story to develop. I enjoy songs like this a lot, only if they're done in a way which allows for that transition to be smooth without too much of a punch in the face before you get to the climax. And while I don't feel like we ever had too much, there were some points where like there was a clear change in energies. We went up and up and up. This was never meant to be a really hard-hitting song. It was never meant to be aggressive. It was meant to be a song about someone figuring out the journey they've had and whether or not it'll be worth it in the end, or whether they want to show that vulnerability, as I mentioned before. So yeah, really great vocal performance here. Additionally, in regards to the structure of the song, it fit that ballad structure perfectly. You know, you had the verse, chorus with bits of instruments being included as we went along. But again, it never felt like too much. We had that clear, predictable sort of journey, but it was so pleasant to listen to that it never became uninteresting, or I never felt disengaged from it. The instrumental performances helped. Like, we had a couple of different sections there with some changes, like in the end part of the solo section with the chord progressions and the bass lines and all that. But there were these motifs for like the chorus and the verse and such that were loopable and repeatable, and they paid careful attention to songwriting, composition, music theory, etc. There were no weird chromatic notes or anything like that. There were no points where the tension was exaggerated by a flat second interval or something grotesque. It was meant to be sort of like lovable and soft throughout. And that may seem weird, but I spent like half the day listening to deathcore today, so this is what I consider to be soft, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's gentle. I think a lot of people would love to listen to it, and I'm sure that a lot of people have listened to this. It sounds like a classic without me even really knowing a lot about the musicians involved. The performances on the bass, the guitar solo was phenomenal, as well as the rhythm work and the clean guitar bits. The piano parts were minimal, but there were enough coloration in the mid to high ranges to matter. The drums, some lovely fills from time to time, but they kept the groove going, and that was the main focus of the percussion in this instance. Yeah, it filled its traditional role, and again, just basically every musician involved here. You didn't have a lot of backing vocals or anything. It was just the one singer for most of the time with that one center field kind of bit of projection there, but that's fine. The production in regards to recording, mixing, and mastering was utterly sensational. I've got all the time in the world for it. I think that, I can always make you smile. That's gorgeous. I love that to pieces. I legitimately feel as though there's nothing they needed to change in regards to the post-production, like the recording, mix, and mastering. I think this is a song where each of the instruments was handled really well in regards to the mic placement. It sounds like a live performance. It's not like a live performance as in like a gig, but it sounds like all the musicians were in the same room, and if they weren't, they were being recorded at a really nice studio. Had that analog disc kind of tone there, the multi-track, the 150K Neve disc kind of feel to it. Just there were these little bits of fun stereo panning. I think I mentioned it. There were these fun bits of stereo panning with the different guitars and like the extreme left and right, when the drums and the rhythms and bass and everything were in that center field, which was nice. It was unexpected. I was glad to have it. It was nice and loud without, limiting compressing was done well without it pumping or being overbearing. The effects change on the different instruments were palatable, and yeah, I've got no complaints about that side of things. I'm really glad I had the opportunity to listen to Dick and Cowboy today. Really well written song. Thank you so much for your suggestion, Call Me Hee Hee. But that was effectively the SP Patrons custom music review for you today. For Dick and Cowboy. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Dick and Cowboy some love via their various social medias. I'm not sure if they got more stuff on YouTube, but everywhere they are in the world, And stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember, support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either hell more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in your next custom monthly review. Spider Hands out.